maybe we might be live here. All right. I don't know if anybody's going to log on to this. I just wanted to pop on live and just let everybody know how we are doing. We were going to try to go live on our normal Monday night show, but we didn't have the fuel to run everything that we needed to run. The fuel situation's a little bit better now. So I just figured we would pop on and let you guys know that we are alive, we're okay. Things are slowly starting to improve in the area that got hit by that storm. So we've had a bunch of people message us. Hey, Hope, how are you? This is just going to be real informal and real brief. But we've had a lot of people message us when we were able to get online and see we still don't have power. We don't have internet. Cell signal is very, very, very spotty. A lot of cell towers got taken out. The ones that are up and running, they've exhausted the fuel in their backup generators, and there's nobody really servicing them right now. But like I said, we've had, every time we're able to log on, we've seen that a lot of people have been asking how we're doing. We haven't really been able to respond that much. I know Jesse put up a post on our community page. And like I said, we were going to try to go live on Monday night, but the fuel situation and everything like that was still real sketchy. We loaned out some fuel to somebody that needed it. They needed it more than we did at that point. They were trying to get food for their family. So we figured that was probably more important than trying to do a silly little cryptid and paranormal live stream. But like I said, the fuel situation's improved a little bit. Still, most of this area is still without power. Most of this area is still pretty wrecked. But we're doing well. Jesse and I apocalypse pretty well. We do a lot better than a lot of unfortunately other people do in these situations. A lot of the stuff that we use to be able to go and do week-long, 2-week-long investigations comes in real handy when like this sort of stuff like rears its head, like lanterns, flashlights. I've always talked in the past, whenever you see somebody that does this sort of stuff, you should be able to see that they're able to keep it charged in the field. You know, we do a lot of tech, and it's very important to keep all of this stuff charged in the field. So I've got like battery banks galore. We've been really kind of like frugal with them because I wasn't quite sure we'd be able to keep them charged. So, but there's some areas in town and the surrounding county that's got some power now. Somebody just mentioned and I'm kind of glancing at the chat, that they're in Greenville. Greenville's doing pretty good, Robert. Yeah, Greenville's doing pretty good from what I understand. We haven't really seen much of anything down here. We haven't really seen anybody from the city or the county or the state. We haven't really seen any of the power companies. You know, they usually send in tree services to kind of clear stuff out. We haven't really seen anything. Me and a couple of other guys got some chainsaws out and went and cleared a couple of the side streets around here just because there's some older people that are down there, and that kind of backfired on us because that turned our road into kind of a cut through. So it's made it sleeping at night a little difficult just because there's constant traffic, you know, loud mufflers. I live in the South. Everybody's got a loud muffler. So that's cost us some sleep and all that. And it's gotten to the point where we're almost considering taking another tree down, blocking the road with it, but we'll see how that goes. But we are doing well. The main reason I wanted to get on is a lot of people have just kind of like really reached out, kind of worried, and we appreciate the heck out of that. It means the absolute world to us that people were concerned about us and concerned about how we were doing. But we, like I said, we're doing good. We're doing good. When it came through and hit, I had a feeling it was going to go worse than what they were saying. So we have all of the stuff that we normally have: freeze-dried food, batteries, battery chargers, lanterns, flashlights, all that jazz. And then I kind of ran around and had a mad dash like the night before it came up and just got some ice, got some extra fuel, everything like that. I did not expect it to hit this bad. My immediate area, I was kind of fooled by it. I was up all night long. It sounded like there was a freight train going over the house. Obviously, Jesse and I lived on the Gulf Coast for a while, so we are used to hurricanes. I was there during Katrina, so I'm used to that. We've been through several hurricanes and all that. Never really expected that up in South Carolina. So, but I was up all night long, just kind of like listening out and checking things out. And then when the sun came up, I was out, and that's when the eye wall was hitting us. That's when the winds got really bad. So I was out kind of just making sure that nothing was going to hit the house, just watching trees just whip around. And when it finally started to die down a bit, I was going, awesome. It wasn't that bad. We dodged a bullet here. And so I got my vehicle, which I'm broadcasting from now. I'm actually running off Starlink. I'm using the Starlink that we were going to use to do live investigations with. I'm running off that. I'm in my truck just because I've got my generator running right now to power some stuff before it gets too late. So this kind of cuts the noise out a bit. But yeah, like I said, it hit, and we didn't really get anything down. We didn't have any trees down on our house. We had a lot of limbs and stuff like that down. But in the grand scheme of things, I was like, that's not that bad. I got out my truck because I needed to go to work to check on that, and saw that one of my neighbors had like a branch on his truck, and I'm like, that sucks. But again, if that's the worst that happened, we're all doing okay. And then I got a block down the road and started just running into all the devastation that has happened through here. I would go down a road, massive tree down. I'd have to turn back around, go down another road, massive tree down. Another road, massive tree down. Cowboy 4572, 3 words, canned meat. Jesse's pretty much lived off Vienna sausages. When we were at the Tennessee Wildman, Martin Groves gave her a giant ammo can packed with 357 ammunition and Vienna sausages, and that's pretty much what she's been living off of. So she's grilled them, she's done everything with them. But when I got out, I started seeing the extent of the devastation and how bad the trees were down at this point. We had rain heavy for days. The ground was saturated, and in my area, there's a lot of it. We're in an old town, an old mill town. There was a lot of really large trees that just couldn't withstand the winds, especially with the soaked ground. So there's a lot of trees down still, a lot of property damage. Her home while she was sleeping, and a lot of houses that have trees on them with major damage that I don't think that anybody's really gotten and checked out. So it won't surprise me if the death toll down here doesn't rise a little bit more. Not to get too grim with it, but that's the case. North Carolina, especially, it's the waters have receded up there a bit. A lot of areas are still messed up. Matter of fact, some of Jesse's family that's up there in Western North Carolina, they've been out with chainsaws and kind of heavy equipment trying to get into like some of the small communities to kind of like get out and like rescue people. So hats off to them. They're just good old like mountain folk. So when the need arose, they were out trying to like help other people at that point. So, but like I said, I don't know what the situation is here. We don't have power. I don't know when we're going to get power. I doubt very seriously we're going to have it this week. I will be surprised if we have it next week, but stranger things have happened. This would actually be easier to deal with if we were in the woods. But we've got to kind of stay close to the home here. We're trying to watch it in shifts. It's getting to the point where people are getting a little squirrely. There are areas that have power and food and fuels getting into, and it almost seems like normal, but what's happening is everybody is congregating to those areas, obviously trying to get resources, trying to get food, trying to get fuel. Today it seems a little less tense, but still people are getting squirrely. There's been a couple shootings at gas stations and fist fights at gas stations, and apparently somebody got shot near here over something about like I don't know. I haven't got all the details on it, but so people are getting a little tense right now. So we're trying to keep an eye on the house. Crime's kind of going up a little bit, or a lot. I don't know. It's hard to kind of tell. Anecdotally, I hear of a lot of stuff, but like I said, our neighborhoods are still pitch black, so we're kind of just hanging out and watching, making sure that everything's okay. We and like I said, and Cynthia, they know how bad it is. Trust me, it's pretty. I mean, it's not wrecked. It's not as bad as like a major tornado went through, but it's what you would expect with hurricane force winds coming through an area with a lot of old, very large trees with very, very soaked ground. So it is, it's weird. And in some of the towns, it's weird. Some of the towns that were cut off by floodwaters, we were talking to somebody who's up there, and we were going, do you need food? Do you need anything? You know, I mean, if you're in real bad shape, we might be able to get some stuff up and make our way to you. And they were like, no, we had a Walmart delivery. And I'm going, you had a Walmart delivery? What the hell? And they're going, yeah, you know, as soon as the waters went down, obviously we've got some infrastructure stuff and we've got everything like that, but power's back, Walmart's delivering. So some areas are bouncing back pretty quick. Some areas are still in really bad shape. Some areas are gone, man. I mean, Chimney Rock doesn't exist anymore, little town, and that's not the only one. And like I said, I think that when they get in there, they're going to really be able to figure out the extent of the damage. But this has been for a lot of people, this has been a life-changing storm. On the positive side, we're doing okay. We're doing well. I didn't want anybody. I didn't realize the extent that people were worried about us, and that's extremely touching. But I did want to hop on and let everybody know that, you know, we're doing okay. We're built for this stuff, and that's not any sort of cheesy bragging or anything like that. But you know, we go weeks in the woods with no power, no running water, or anything like that. And again, a lot of that stuff that we use out there comes in real handy here. So, you know, thankfully we were really lucky. We were set up to weather this storm, literally and figuratively, a lot better than a lot of other people out there that weren't as fortunate. So we've been able to kind of help out a little bit as we can. I'm not gonna lie, my main concern is making sure that Jesse is taken care of and fine and safe, and we have everything that we need. But excuse me, I'm snorting as usual. Air quality is terrible here. I mean, absolutely terrible here. You are seeing the best and the worst of humanity throughout all this, just like you do with any sort of like crisis. You are seeing people who are weathering this as well as they can, and then you are seeing people that are maybe their lack of judgment and their lack of decision making is very apparent right now. There are constant sirens in the distance, constant sirens. It is wild. For some reason, the day after this, I guess everybody just wanted to get out and look at the destruction and see what was going on, just sightsee. So people were driving around. The city's dark. There's no traffic lights. So there's been a lot of accidents. Part of my town got power back today, and then they immediately lost it because somebody was, I guess, just joyriding and speeding and lost control of their vehicle and slammed into a power pole and took it all back down. So I don't know if that ever got restored or not, but that's happened. People are burning stuff like for no damn reason at all. And that seems to happen every time there's like a wide power outage that lasts for a few days. Some people are doing it for light. Some people are doing it to get rid of debris, you know, because there's no garbage pickup or anything like that. Some people just burn things to burn things. So there have been some homes that have caught on fire. So the air quality is like terrible. It smells like burning tires and burning garbage. So the air quality is horrible. So you got to leave your windows open at night, especially to sleep, to try to get some airflow. But then you've got the vehicles past my house, all the ambulances, and then the air smells like just terrible. But grand scheme of things, if it's the worst we got to deal with, it ain't that bad, especially compared to how some people have literally just lost everything at this point. So anyway, I just want to let everybody know we're doing well. We are okay. We're safe. I've had people offer to like drive in and bring us supplies. We're golden. You know what I'm saying? We're good. We keep a lot of freeze-dried food. Hold on a second. In Pickens, we were without power for several days. We have no power. I'm glad to hear that some of Pickens has power at this point. Robert is saying that he can smell the garbage. It's not as bad as, like, after other storms, it's still pretty bad. Nobody around here has ever really dealt with this before unless they previously lived somewhere that has, hurricanes. We don't even really get a lot of like tornadoes through here. I mean, there's been a couple over the years that have done some damage, and we've had tropical storms through here, but whatever they say on the news, and I don't even really know. These were hurricane force winds that came through. That's all there is to it. I mean, just when you look at the damage, and I was out there, I was out as soon as the sun came up during the worst of it. And it was almost, you could feel it on your body. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't knocking me over and dragging me across the ground, but it was, the winds were 80, 90 miles an hour and gusts and all that. And I don't know what the official portion of it is, but I was watching it through here. And then when you see the amount of trees that are down, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So, but like I said, we're good. A lot of people were just, offering to drive in, bring us supplies, come in and check on us. I mean, other than being like kind of uncomfortable, we don't really run the generator much past like 10 or 11, just because we live in town now. We don't live in the woods like we used to, thankfully. I would be very surprised if the area that we used to live in, which was surrounded by extremely tall trees, a lot of those probably came down. I don't know if the house that we, previously lived in got through undamaged, but, we're in town now, and I've got some older neighbors that are right next door. So I try not to run the generator too late at night. They don't have a generator, and I don't want to keep them up. I'm trying to be. So, but anyway, so but we're good. We've got camping fans. We got everything, man. We got food. We've got batteries. We're doing well. We're itching to get back out into the field. Temperature during the day, it's hot. It's like 80s, 90s and all that. It gets a little cool at night now that we're kind of getting into autumn. It's still not what I would call comfortable. The humidity is still extremely high post-storm. The ground is soaked. There's a lot of standing water and stuff like that. That's drying, but 10:30 in Central, got some power back. My area, like I said, my immediate area, and the neighborhood surrounding me, we haven't seen anybody. When I got up this morning, I noticed how quiet it was. For once, it was quiet. No chainsaws, the beep, beep, beep of heavy equipment backing up, none of that. We haven't really seen anybody through here. And I don't know if it's because of they're hitting the areas that are going to be easier to get first or what, because we've got a lot of major trees down that are wrapped up in power lines. We've got a lot of roads blocked off. They're going to have to clear roads just to get in here. There's a lot of, and like I said, I'm not overstating it. This is an old town, So, and it's a very wooded area. We've got a lot of like tree-lined streets, and the trees are massive. And quite honestly, a lot of them have probably not been maintained as well as they should have been. So a lot of them were ready and primed to come down, and man, this took them down. So, but yeah, like I said, we're doing well. We've got some home damage that we've got a little bit just from like the wind and everything like that. We didn't take a tree like we did many months ago. That was when it crushed one of our trucks and stuff like that. But we didn't take any major damage like that. We did have some minor wind damage, and we had some water damage because everything kind of flooded around us. But grand scheme of things, not bad, Unfortunately, in this day and age, you can't really do homeowners insurance claims because they'll cancel you at the drop of a hat. Especially this area, I'm sure they're going to be looking to kind of minimize future liabilities. Like I said, I'm just keeping an eye out. Like I said, people have gotten a little squirrely over the past few days, and it's going to get worse the longer it comes out. We're out looking for fuel the other day, in the late afternoon or so, and the big thing is, if you're ever in stuff like this and you can get out of the populated areas, get out of the populated areas. But we had gone into a county gas station, had a lot of people, but it wasn't completely mobbed like a lot of the ones in town are. And there was a dude inside just melting down that all these people were at his gas station. He grew up 2 miles from there. What are all these people doing? People started arguing with him, and I just looked at Jesse and I was like, we're going to get out of here. Somebody's going to get shot, you know. So the people element is starting to turn into the one thing that you've got to really kind of watch out for. But like I said, you know, we're golden. We're golden. Sometimes being crazy people pays off. Sometimes being those wacky Bigfoot and paranormal investigators pay off, and that has certainly happened here. But you know, it's definitely paid off for us at this point. So we're just rearing to get the channel back on as soon as we can. I don't know. We do most of our stuff in the Southern Appalachians and the Southern Bigfoot sightings. I don't know. Just because I'm feeling that most of the roads going into real wooded areas are really inaccessible at this point. The Southern Appalachians, like I said, they've gotten, as we've been able to get a little bit of data for our cell phones, we've seen some of the destruction that's taken place like around us, and it's altered the landscape in some areas. So let's say best case scenario is we get power. Just say I wake up tomorrow morning and I got power. That ain't happening. There's too much down there to like move, and they would have had to have been working on it for a couple of days. But say that happens, we're going to get out as soon as we can, because quite honestly, we need a break from this, because you spend a lot of time just doing chores. Like I keep joking with Jesse, it's like we're on the frontier again. You know, it's like we're on the frontier. Living that frontier life, man. You know, get water, clean water. We're purifying our water, even though there's no boil advisory, just because I don't trust it. Purify water, make sure we've got fuel, keep the generator topped off, keep all the battery banks chopped off, keep all the flashlights charged, everything like that. Keep an eye on our fuel supply, because everything's, you know, everything's going to slowly get better. But I also know that there's another storm brewing up in the Gulf, and it ain't supposed to hit this way. But guess what? This one wasn't supposed to do the damage it was supposed to either. So we're always trying to think a few steps ahead. But we are rearing at the bit. It's driving us crazy to not be out there doing what we do at this point. We really need to get out there and get back into investigation. We had some active hotspots going on. The thing with the little people that we found, or what might be the little people. We have another area. Jesse's in the process of trying to get the video up and out, where it looked like something was observing us on thermal. And we didn't quite make it out. And it wasn't until we came back and looked where it was, we realized, very similar to the LBL, that it was like a little ledge and something was standing there large observing us that then disappeared. So we had a lot of active investigations that we were in the middle of that had just to go on hiatus. We are going to have to see how travel is affected into those areas. We go in equipped with, you know, the ability to tow stuff. Thank you for that. Thank you for that so much, Mary Angel Magdalene. We appreciate that. That's very helpful. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody that's stayed a member, even though we haven't got anything out for like about a week and a half. A lot of our income is going to have to kind of go towards getting rebuilt back up. So anything people can do to help keeping the channel going is phenomenal. We're rearing to get back out. We do go in equipped to deal with down trees, because we have been in areas before where, Todd, thank you for staying a member, my friend. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. But we do have the ability to deal with down trees, because we've been in areas before where trees have come down while we're in there, and we've had to been able to, you know, clear them out of the way. It's much different dealing with like one or maybe two down trees, and possibly dealing with what I think is up in there as far as like the level of devastation goes. A lot of the areas we go into, we're using old forestry roads or old logging roads that aren't maintained at the best of times. They're really just remnant roads a lot of times, and sometimes we take a chainsaw and do a little bit of clearing with them. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know the level. Thank you for that, Ray. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. Cynthia, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. I'm doing this from my phone. I tried to get fancy with it and hook the main computer up with the camera and everything like that. And it was going to be too many things running, draining power at the same time. So I just figured I'd do this off my phone. But like I said, once we get out of here, we'll be able to go in. We're going to have to go into these areas very cautiously because there may be trees that are weakened that haven't come down yet, but are primed to come down. But again, we do go in with a chainsaw, tow straps, everything like that. So we're going to be able to get in somewhere. We're going to be able to get in somewhere. Maybe not be our first choice, but we'll be able to get into somewhere. As soon as we get power back, Jesse's going to finish up that next investigation video and get it out for everybody. We need power and internet to be able to do that. Some of the programs she uses. JD, thank you, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So we appreciate it, man. Thank you. Like I said, all that's going to go to just getting us back in the game. The other thing we've got to deal with is, if you guys remember, we did that one investigation and it wiped out a bunch of my batteries. A lot of my batteries, camera batteries, rechargeable AAA, stuff like that. Those got destroyed, man. Those got destroyed. The thermal, I don't know about our thermal. I'm going to probably have to send that in on warranty, but luckily that'll be warranty. That won't cost anything. I'll ship it in. We got another thermal to use. That'll be good. But I had a bunch of batteries coming in from Amazon, and where were they being shipped from? North Carolina warehouses. So those just disappeared into the ether. So once everything gets settled down, we're going to get resupplied on all that. But we've got backups and everything. We can get, again, if we get cleared this week, we'll be able to get out there and get back into some of these research areas. So I can't overstate this enough. We're going stir crazy. We want to get back into the woods. I need clean air, if nothing else, man. Jesse needs clean air. We want to get back into the woods and do what we're kind of meant to do. Kind of follow our passion and kind of our calling. Kind of our calling as to what we want to do. We want to get out there and investigate the unknown. The other thing is that we just had a massive expenditure of energy take place in this region with this storm. So what has that powered up? And then the fact that the emotional energy that's out there right now, and I don't want to make light of that, and I don't want to come across ghoulish, but I think it's fair to say that this region has experienced a very large outpouring of emotion, some negative, some positive, as people have seen that, maybe they found loved ones were safe, maybe they dodged some damage and everything like that. So what effect does that have on some of the more paranormal things that we look into? My big thing is that I think that a lot of this stuff, that there's some sort of transference of energy that takes place that feed some of this stuff, some of the things draw upon, maybe, I don't know. We've seen it happen with our equipment. We really saw it happen recently with our equipment. So with this massive expenditure, the wind, everything like that, that's all energy. So what has that done to things? Also, some of these areas are going to be even more remote and cut off than they were in the past. So what effect is that going to have? Are things going to have kind of like free reign to kind of do whatever they want to? Things that maybe tried to stay a little hidden in the past, no real reason to stay as hidden now, because hikers can't get in. The areas we go into, there's generally no established hiking trails, but they're adjacent to areas that have hiking trails and stuff like that. Well, ain't nobody going hiking right now, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out and how this all goes. We're not going to know until we get out there. We are going to go out geared up to be able to clear the road a little bit and try to kind of move our way into these areas. And then we're also going to be prepared to, if trees come down while we're in there, to be able to clear those out. But if we get in, and I'm talking, I'm not exaggerating, man. Some streets, it's not one tree. It's multiple trees. It's 4 and 5 trees that have all fallen and kind of crisscrossed, that created these really big, bad barriers. If it's like that here, I've got to assume that it's like that somewhat when you get up into the mountains, when you I don't know. I haven't heard anything with national forests at all. I haven't heard anything at all as far as the condition of those. I've been in contact with a few people that we know uh, that live in very like rural, remote areas that have gotten out, that have evacuated those areas. They took a lot of damage, but we'll see, man. We'll see how everything goes. But we will be going in very, very, very soon as we're able to. And I'll be honest with you right now, the big thing is, even if we could travel out and get there right now, we can't really leave our home unattended. Again, crime's on the uprise. People are getting a little hinky. Just the fact that I'm running a generator right now will draw attention to me. We lock our generator up in a building at night that is windows and doors barred. We call it the dungeon. We've got like a really strong outbuilding that's really well fortified, and we lock it up in there. And even then, kind of throughout the night, I'll get up and kind of check everything. Because people, you're starting to get to the point where you can't buy generators anywhere right now, man. And some people who will start to get desperate. Some people are already desperate. So once that level of desperation kind of dies down, and we're able to get our, if you remember, we had to put a security system in and ramp it up when we had some unpleasantness with some other people in the community. Once that gets up and running, and once there's power there, and once emergency services are not overwhelmed, then we'll be kind of more comfortable, like going out and doing stuff at that point. But like I said, as soon as we do get power and internet, Jesse's going to finish up that next investigation video and get it out. And even if we are stuck in for like a couple of weeks, we got a backlog of footage, man. I always tell people that, this is a lot more time consuming than a lot of people really kind of understand, unless you've like really done this before. You have all the prep work, selecting your gear, making sure it's all clean, it's ready to go, packing it, going into the areas, doing the investigations themselves, and then coming out, and then you have a massive amount. I mean, I'm talking about a massive amount of footage to review: audio footage, video footage, thermal footage. And that's what's really, really time consuming. Generally, when we get back, Jesse starts on the, because here's the deal. I mean, if something happened and we're aware of it and we film it, well, we know we need to go check that out. But we all know that you guys have caught stuff that we haven't seen, flashes of light, possible eye shine, figures and everything like that. If we do let's say we do a 3-day investigation. So, and let's say we've got stuff running constantly for 3 days. We're not running just one camera. We're running multiple like audio recorders. That's a ton of footage to go through. So generally what happens is when we get back, Jesse immediately offloads the footage onto hard drive, starts reviewing it, starts going through all of it. I start the very tedious process of getting the equipment and the gear, cleaned, charged, refitted, repaired, done whatever. And then, so we're always behind. So I guess what I'm telling you is that even if we're stuck for like another week or two, there will be some stuff coming out, and we kind of need to get it out as much as hopefully you guys want to see it at that point. We've really felt there's a certain level of frustration not being able to kind of do, our I don't know, man, the passion of our lives at this point, if that makes sense. It's what we really kind of like find fulfillment in, and it's what we kind of feel that it's kind of become the central focus of our lives. Everything else in our lives has become secondary to the investigations, and then sharing it with people and bringing people along for the ride. This has become something greater than just, hopefully, just two people kind of stumbling around the woods like looking for weird stuff. I think that we are starting to kind of move in some really good directions, and I think we're starting to really refine our process, which is so much different than what everybody else is doing out there. That's one of the things I think we're going to try to do too. You guys usually see the cool stuff. I think Jesse's going to try to release something just kind of showing the more tedious data logging and just, if you want to call it the detective work that goes on, you know. But like I said, our process is getting really refined and everything like that. We're really just rearing to the bit to get out there. So let me see if I can get. All right. By the way, how is the signal coming through right now? How is the signal? How is the audio and the video? I had to put a lav mic on and run it through my phone, which I've never done before. And just because the pork chop, thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate it. Another emergency case of barbecue Vienna sausages. We are eating. We're gonna have to. I appreciate that. That's probably gonna go towards Vienna sausages and resupplying our freeze-dried food. So there were a few places that have opened and then closed back down. Some places that were running on generator power. Some places that were running on when their part of the grid came back up, and they pretty much immediately run out of supplies. Everything refrigerated obviously went bad. So, you know, it's having a few places that are open like that has been worse than just having everything shut down. And now, obviously, if everything's shut down, you know, people got to eat. You know, a lot of people don't have but like a day's worth of food in their home. But the downside is it's causing a lot of people to congregate in very small areas, and that's causing a lot of friction. Because like I said, again, my thing is the people aspect of it right now is what's just got me. And if you can tell, I'm occasionally just checking my six and all that. Just the people aspect, going through previous storms on the Gulf. I know that you hit a point where the frustration and the weariness and the uncertainty about your future and just the constant tension starts to take its toll on people, and they start to act in ways that maybe they normally wouldn't. And unfortunately, sometimes they're acting just the way they would like to act. It's just those restraints of polite society have been removed from them to a certain extent. So that's what you have to kind of watch out for. But having those people congregate in those areas is a little tense, and we try to stay away from those. So, but luckily, again, I can't stress this enough, man. We have the ability, and we will talk about it occasionally. We have the ability to stay in the field for a couple of weeks at a time without resupply, without having to leave. We can keep stuff charged. We can, you know, we'll be able to purify water. We'll have food, fuel, everything like that. So that's all coming in handy right now. We're not going willy-nilly with it because, again, I don't know what the recovery time is weird here, man. Again, I haven't seen anybody from the city, the county, the state. Like I said before, nobody from the power companies. I would expect FEMA to be, and maybe those resources are in North Carolina right now. Basically, this is like however wide the storm ended up being, 250 miles, 300 miles. This is like a 300-mile tornado just went through this area. I am just kind of weirded out by the fact that, I mean, we're not really seeing anything. Thank you, Dead End Yard Hunt. We appreciate that, man. Again, I'm doing this from my phone, so pickled pig sweets. Jessie would eat those if she had them right now. Asheville's rough. Yeah, our friend LW got in touch with Micah Hanks. For those of you that know Micah Hanks from the UFO and the Bigfoot community, he's got a Bigfoot podcast too. He was in he's in Asheville, and nobody was able to get in touch with him, but they were able to make contact with him. He's safe, or at least he's safe at that point. The situation's really tense up there as well. But I'm not seeing anybody. We're not really seeing anybody, man. I mean, I would have expected. And I know the state is probably spread thin, but I would have expected something. And again, I don't know. You guys probably have an idea of the bigger picture better than I do. We've been very sparingly use of our Starlink just because of I run the Starlink off a battery backup generally because that's clean power. And I'm planning for the worst because this is so uncertain right now because I don't I expected the recovery to be really into full gear at this point, and I'm not seeing that here. So again, I don't know what the situation on the ground is as well as you all do. Maybe FEMA is set up in Florida. Maybe FEMA is set up in like North Carolina. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, here we're not really seeing anybody at all. I'll see like power trucks sometimes driving by and around, but I have honestly yet to come upon a crew at work or seen anything. A couple times we've heard chainsaws. News has been saying FEMA hasn't been seen there after the first day. Yeah, we haven't seen FEMA at all down through here, and I haven't heard of anybody that has seen FEMA. FEMA is not helping at all on most YouTube channels. People in North Carolina, yeah, says FEMA's in North Carolina. He claims. Good. I mean, again, but we're not really seeing anything, you know. So I kind of went into conservation mode. I was the one that made the call Monday not to stream, just because I was going, all right, at this point we should have seen something in somebody. We're not seeing anybody. I need to go ahead and start planning for the worst right now. I need to plan for this to stretch out a little bit longer than what maybe I anticipated. Tonight I was able to resupply on some fuel, and it seemed like the madness on some of that was going on. I gotta be honest with you though, I think a lot of that is people are running out of cash, and they can't buy stuff. A lot of places, credit cards aren't taken. You've got to have cash. All the ATMs are either down or dry. So I think a lot of that's going on, and guess what? That's just going to add to the desperation, you know. And now it's not apocalyptic or anything like that. It's a bad storm. It's the aftermath of a bad storm in an area that doesn't get bad storms, and it's an area that was primed to suffer a lot of damage because of all the rain we'd had before the storm even got here. And then the storm itself, before everything cut out, I saw one of our local weather people saying that the storm coming up and then the other weather systems that were colliding with it basically caused a straw effect to bring just a ton of moisture in from the Gulf. And that moisture just dropped on us, man. That moisture dropped on us. So we, you know, so everything was really, really soaked. So it's not apocalyptic, and I don't want to give that impression. And I don't want, there are people out there right now that have got it like so much worse than we do. At the end of the day, extremely blessed, and we're extremely lucky. And, we're blessed and we're lucky, to be crazy people who are paranoid anyway, and also do weird stuff that involves us being in the woods for 2 weeks at a time. So we were set up for it. But even then, I've got to provide a lot of consolation. Isn't Elon providing free Starlink? I don't know. Our Starlink worked. It was not working really well with all the cloud cover. I'm starting to learn the limitations and what Starlink can and can't do. But right now it fired up pretty well this evening. I'm assuming the signal's been pretty stable. But like I said, I mean, I've got at this point, I've got to conserve it. When I start to see resources on the ground, I'll maybe breathe a sigh of relief, and I won't be so frugal with everything. But right now, like I said, tonight I felt pretty comfortable. Not tonight, I felt pretty comfortable to go ahead and set up free Starlink. Didn't hear which areas. Elon has positioned more satellites over that part of the Starlink linked up like nobody's business. I'm telling you right now that this is going to be it's awesome. It's going to be really cool for what we do, and the fact that as more satellites get up and the signal gets better. Now, I did come to the realization of electronic interference and malfunctions and battery drain. I don't know why I thought the Starlink was going to maybe be, I guess I just didn't think that, but on that last live we did, you saw that the stream itself was affected, you know. So that's going to be difficult and frustrating, and we're going to be sometimes limited, but it's also going to give us more data. I mean, I'm still trying to process through everything that happened in that live stream that we did, where people at home were experiencing electronic issues watching us, and weird things on their devices that they were watching. That's data. And that's demonstrable, that's being demonstrated, that high strangeness like that moves like a virus sometimes. It's transmissible. It doesn't, and it's not even from person to person. It's people have shared points of attention, and their consciousness is all focused on one thing, and this high strangeness has the ability to travel from person to person, travel from where we're experiencing it out to you all. So it's going to be a learning experience, but for right now, man, I got to tell you, I'm extremely happy with the way it's working. Extremely happy with the way it's working. I felt comfortable enough tonight because I thought I might need the battery that we run off it for other stuff, because we do need flashlights for security and just to move around, our headlamps to do stuff, things like that. And but tonight I felt pretty comfortable that I'll be able to use it and drain it and be able to do it up tomorrow. And again, that's just because, like I said, I don't know whether to think it's a positive thing that there weren't as many people out tonight mobbing the few gas stations that had gas. I've got a feeling that it's people running out of money. So, and if that's the case, within another 48 hours, unless we see a massive amount of stuff coming in. But, there's a lot of people have helped themselves. There's been a lot of churches in the area. There's been a lot of area businesses. A lot of businesses were going to lose their food because they had no refrigeration and no way to generate power to refrigerate it. They were giving food away. So, you've seen the best of people, and unfortunately, you're going to start seeing the worst of people as well. And I'm sure that's everywhere at this point. Like I said, and it's weird. It's wild. I did not ever expect to see something like this in the Southern Appalachians before. But a lot of these like small mountain towns and everything like that, they're very resilient. They're very, a lot of them are very like independent people, but here's the other thing too. This area has had a lot of like mass immigration coming into it. A lot of people coming from out west and from up north that, and a lot of these small mountain towns have become I'm a little worried about that, on how that's kind of going. But like I said, it is what it is. It's, banks are losing their data. People are finding empty checking. What the hell? I don't know any. Again, you guys have to bear with me. Most of the National Guard's from Hope East. Moondog Davis, I think people are generally sweet and moral. 50-50. Again, we've seen, I was able to clear one road and kind of get out. And there were some nice little old ladies holding signs that their church was cooking food for everybody, and everybody was welcome, and everybody was going to be fed, and that was just so amazing. And I stopped by to talk to them just real quick, and they were just trying to feed me, man. And I'm like, I'm good. Feed people that don't have anything, But the other thing too is that, again, there are people that normally wouldn't be like this, but are. I'll be damned. All right, it's my outdoor cat running around over there. People that are normally just productive, law-abiding members of society, you get desperate, or you do things that you maybe normally wouldn't do. And again, I don't want to like overstate it. I mean, it's not like The Walking Dead out there. It's not like a zombie movie, but a lot of people are not used to going without having every need met 24 hours a day. And psychologically that affects people, The other thing that I've already started to notice is you are starting to see some relatively strange behavior. A good chunk, and this is not talking bad about anybody, but it's a good chunk of the population's on some sort of some sort of medication for various issues. And a lot of people are out of that medication right now, or running out of that medication right now. There are a lot of people who self-medicate with various things that they can't get right now, and they're going to start acting crazy if they aren't already. So, you know, I guess you see that after every disaster, but we'll see, man. Like I said, I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and there could be FEMA trucks and National Guard, and I'm just surprised I haven't seen anybody like locally even. I don't know where they are. But again, pretty much my entire county and my entire city was affected. So, and you know, somebody had mentioned Greenville. This area is not as affluent as Greenville. It's not as populated as Greenville. It doesn't have the resources that Greenville does. So, you know, I don't know. They're out somewhere, I'm sure. We just haven't seen them through here yet. And I figured we'd see somebody. So, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm hoping everybody out there is okay. All of our extended, like, you know, crew of people, the awesome bunch of people that watch and follow our channel and engage and interact with us. I hope you guys, excuse me, are okay. I hope all your families are okay. I've heard from a few people want to make contact with the outside world. And a few people are doing okay that we've talked to. I know that we've got some people that are up in like North Carolina that we've been in contact with, that, you know, some of them were, the floodwaters were receding. So far, everybody seems to be safe, and I'm hoping that is the case. I'm hoping that everybody's able to, that made it through okay, and we're able to kind of weather all this stuff and kind of get through to it at that point. And like I said, I mean, I'm hoping that, again, you guys know more than I do. I'm hoping North Carolina and Florida and then like Georgia, I'm hoping the people that are there are doing well, and that there's relief coming in for them as well up to this point. Real quick, I'm going to just give it a few minutes here. A lot of towns have vanished. Moondog says, yeah, Chimney Rock. We love Chimney Rock. And apparently, from what I understand, there's nothing there. There's nothing there from Chimney Rock anymore. It's just gone. And I from what I understand, here, obviously, we didn't get the flooding that North Carolina got, but we've got massive amounts of like wind damage, and massive amounts of damage from downed trees is our big thing. And all those trees have to be moved. And some of those trees have power lines intertwined in them, which means that a lot of times somebody has to go in, you know, and remove the power lines, cut the trees up, remove the trees, then put new power poles up and restring the lines and get all of that. And that's going to be very time consuming. So, but like I said, I mean, even if they're damaged buildings, the buildings are still there. Even if it's a house that has massive damage, it's still there. There are parts when you get, you know, into the more elevated areas that are gone. They're just flat out gone. And from what I understand, there's massive amounts of missing people right now. We have not really been able to make contact with Jesse's family members that are out there trying to, and they're just good old country boys. They're out with chainsaws, and one of them's got a bulldozer, and they've got some heavy equipment, and they're getting in and trying to do what they can, you know, to try to get everybody out there. But try to get everybody out and try to at least get, you know, some paths of travel so that people can get out and then supplies can get in. But here's the deal. If they're out having to do that, that means that there's a vacuum of, you know, authorities. The authorities are not out doing it. Over 1,000 missing in Asheville. Yeah. But like I said, you know, I did want to let everybody know we're doing okay. You know, if this stretches out for another 2-3 weeks, we're going to be hot. We're going to be grumpy. We're going to be wearing dirty clothes. You know, we're going to stink. We're okay. If worse comes to worse, we're just going to ford up and hunker down and wait for it to pass, man. You know, like I said, I mean, I can't overstate that being a crazy person it is our time to shine at this point. So, you know, we're going to be good. I'd love to be able to say we're going to do a regular live stream Monday. If we do, again, we even talked about this for this past Monday. I don't know what all's going on in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on in the world of Bigfoot. I don't know what's going on in the world of UAPs. we could be at war with the moon right now, and I would not freaking know. You know what I'm saying? I would not know. Hold on 1 second. What is that? Mountaineer survival. That's terrible to hear, man. Jerry Carter, do we need a chopper to come get you? No, we're good. We're good. We are not in that bad of shape, and we have to kind of keep an eye on our house and our property and everything like that. It's not to the point where we're fleeing and leaving everything there. Like I said, at the end of the day, we're doing good. We're doing well. You know, we're eating. We have, again, if we had to hunker down at this point and just batten down the hatches and not leave and not have any human contact for a few more weeks, we're gonna be golden. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be golden. I'm gonna be tired of freeze-dried food. And Jesse will eat all of her Vienna sausages. My brother mentioned looters in Hendersonville. I don't think looting is going on here. I do think there is a lot of burglaries, home invasions. I think a lot of that's driven by just simple greed at this point, materialistic stuff. But I do worry that if we don't see a turn in stuff, you'll start to see that other stuff. You'll start to see people breaking into homes for foods, breaking into trying to get generators, looking for fuel, things like that. I got a better, I'll be honest with you, I got a little bit, I don't know whether going out and finding gas easier tonight was a good thing or a bad thing. Again, it could mean that maybe things are getting a little bit better out there, and or maybe people are running out of cash and they can't get the resources, the few resources that are already there. But looting in and around Asheville, I need to get that. Yeah. I don't know where the South Carolina National Guard is, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where our city workers are. I don't know where our county people are. Somewhere on it, but like I said, I mean, I'm hoping they're out there helping somebody. And again, I don't need a chopper to land on our roof and get us out. You know, I don't need anybody to caravan food in or anything like that. You know, I stress on the front end, so I don't have to stress on the back end of these things. You know, although this is stressful, obviously, but you know, we've got stuff. You know, we're good. We're not, you know, I'm not out trying to like kill squirrels with rocks and cook them over like a little fire. You know, we haven't gone full Mad Max yet. Although, as far as full Mad Max goes, like I mentioned, I had cleared our street basically from my elderly neighbors, and then that turned into just like a cut through because the main roads were gobbed up and I wasn't messing with all of that. We had like a full-size like fuel tanker trying to go through, and this is an old mill town. So these roads were made over 100 years ago. These ain't wide roads, you know what I'm saying? It's difficult for some areas for two cars to pass each other, you know, going in opposite directions. And we heard like beeping, you know, something backing up, and I'm like, some equipment here. We're gonna see like, you know, power company, tree service, something like that. We go out and it's a fuel tanker that has tried to go down a road, and it was blocked off with trees we didn't clear because they were massive, and was trying to back up and turn, and he was just stuck. And I've got a picture of Jessie, the fuel truck in the background, and her doing this, and I'm just going, oh my God, she's going full Mad Max. She's gonna hijack this fuel truck. You know, she's literally 2 days away from cutting her hair in a mohawk and having assless, you know, cheekless leather chaps on, you know, Warrior of the Wasteland type stuff. But like I said, we're good. We're real good. Spirits are doing pretty good. We're real closely monitoring the situation. I'm really hoping everybody out there that is associated with our channel and that we you know, follows our stuff and that we communicate with, I hope you guys are okay. I hope everybody is all right. Like I said, I'm hoping resources are out there and they're just spread thin, but that they're congregating together and that stuff is going to like snowball and you're going to start seeing more and more stuff's going to get done. Dock workers. I don't know what, and again, you guys have to bear with me. I'm doing this solo in a dock workers union. Is there a strike right now? Hold on a second. Did the dock workers go on strike, like both coasts? Damn, I feel like a caveman that got thawed out and is trying to figure out. Yep, yes, awesome. That, you know what, that might be hindering stuff as well. I don't know. Ports are on strike due to pay. Damn. All right. I didn't know about the Middle East stuff until our boy Deathwish that we talk about sometimes had. It's weird because I'll be standing in one area and I've got perfect signal for like a few minutes, and then bam, it just cuts. Like I said, a lot of cell towers are down. The ones that are operational, a lot of their backup generators have ran out of fuel, and I honestly don't know if there's anybody going around refueling them until the power comes up. Cell service is extremely bad. If it wasn't for the Starlink, I wouldn't be able to communicate with you guys right here. So Amazon may strike as well. Good God almighty, man. It's the end times, man. Good God. Seattle Port is on strike. Listen, man, we live in interesting times, but, you know, we live in interesting times. And you know what? A lot of this going on may be having an effect on everything going on here. You know, maybe having an effect on the recovery effort. I don't know if, again, I don't know if FEMA's out. I don't know what's going on. Send all the National Guard down here. Yeah, I guess when there's really complicated geopolitical things going on, that makes you have to really kind of be judicious in what you use and where you use it, and especially when it comes to things like the National Guard and everything like that. But I don't know. That's for somebody who's smarter and better informed than I am to make a educated conversation about that. So, thanks, Hawk. What is that? Over 45,000 from Maine to Texas went on strike. Good Lord. Okay. FEMA's in Spruce Pine, the last I heard. I mean, again, they might be out there. And again, here's the deal. I might wake up tomorrow and everything's completely different, you know. And things aren't terrible right now. You know what I'm saying? I've got some frozen hamburgers left. When I get done here, I'm going to cook on my propane grill and fry a hamburger up. So, I ain't eating like old cans of dog food or anything like that, you know. But like I said, it's getting tense. The people aspect's got me a little. I'm not going to say nervous, but we're trying to be aware of the situation and aware of what's going on around us, and we're really trying to read the room as far as what's happening and the population around us right now. So we'll see. You know, there's been some nights where I've been out in, you know, it's pitch black, but I've been out with like the thermal, just kind of scanning around, just making sure that, you know, there's nothing I need to worry about at that point. Hey, Hawk, thank you for that, man. Thank you for that, brother. As long as you and Jesse are alive, that's what matters. Yeah, like I said, we're fine. We're golden. You know, and we've had some of the nicest, most heartwarming offers, and people just reaching out to us. It's just so touching. It's like really humbling to really experience that. But, you know, like I said, we're good. We're gonna stay good. You know, like I said, I am really lucky to have Jesse with me through all this. You know, some people just, you know, they get into certain situations, they can't do it. And Jesse's got good instincts. She's very, very, very strong, like mentally, and she's got a strong will. You know, she's got good instincts as far as this stuff goes. So, you know, we're really, I think, both lucky to have each other to kind of rely upon. And just to kind of, you know, have a real partner in all of this stuff makes it a lot easier. And to having you guys support us as well has been absolutely amazing. Like I said, when we have been able to get on and check stuff, it's just I literally, I'm speechless, and you guys know that doesn't happen often, but like speechless, and it's so heartwarming. You know, I'll get on there and I'll be able to check stuff, and It's people that we know through the cryptid and the paranormal world saying, give me your GPS coordinates. I'm going to load up a truck and head. It may take me a few days, and I've had to go, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. If it gets to that point, I'll let you know. But right now we're good. You know, we're doing well. We're doing good. We're rearing to get back into it. And like I said, I kind of wanted to give you guys an update, but I'm optimistic. Maybe it's an unfounded optimism. Maybe I'm mistaken in that. But I do think that we're going to, I'm mystified why it hasn't happened yet. I'm mystified why we haven't really seen anybody through here. I do know emergency services are overwhelmed in our area with the amount of wrecks and fires and injuries that's caused from people, you know, handling chainsaws, stuff like that. I know they're overwhelmed by that. As far as like disaster relief and cleanup and fixing infrastructure, I'm a little mystified, but I'm hoping that it's just because they're in other areas and because lines of communication are so fractured right now. I'm hoping that we'll see it. You know, regardless, we're gonna be, even if the worst case scenario goes, we're gonna be all right, man. We are gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay whether we need to hunker down here and just batten down the hatches and fort up, or we'll be okay if we need to get out of the area, which I don't see happening. I think everything's gonna be good. I think everything's gonna be all right. I think that I think that there are pockets of craziness and there's pockets of normalcy, and but again, my worry is just people getting tired. I mean, I know we're tired. We're not really getting a lot of sleep. People getting frustrated and just desperate, and then just doing frustrated, desperate people things. And I heard there's Bonnie Blue McGee, there was that chemical spill or a chemical plant exploded, or, there's just so much stuff going on out there, man. But, like I said, I think I don't know, man. Maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I just got the feeling tonight that everything kind of has turned the corner, and we'll see. It is going to take a while because there is so much widespread damage, but I don't think this time next week people are going to be eating each other's pets or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Or, there's not going to be like roving gangs of marauders or anything like that. I think everything's kind of turned, and I think everything is looking good. South of Atlanta biolab explosion. Yeah. Bonnie had kind of told me a little bit about that. I was able to get actually on Messenger. We're not really getting any official word that I'm seeing, so I was able to get on like Facebook occasionally and just look at some Facebook groups local to see what people were saying, and that's useless. You know what I'm saying? It's people on there complaining that the one place that was open that had food, and the poor 18-year-old girl that had probably been working 16 hours, no break and no AC, wasn't as she could have been when she served them their food. So it would be a good time for Dogman and Bigfoots to attack while everybody's at a disadvantage. Here's the thing, is there's a lot of people right now in some rural areas that are cut off completely. They can't travel out, they can't communicate out. So what sort of stories are we going to get? And I don't want to minimize the human stuff that's going on right now, but what are we all into here? We all know that there's another world, there's another reality out there that's kind of butts up against ours right now. There might very well be people out there that when all this is said and done is going to go, you're not going to believe what else happened. You're not going to believe what I saw. You're not going to believe. So, that's the other thing too, man. It's killing us not to get out there right now. But, again, like I said, and I even said at one point, I was going, we'd be more comfortable in the woods right now. We'd be more comfortable. But I don't want to come home and our house has been ransacked or anything like that. We were lucky to get through the storm with the amount of damage that we did have, and I don't want to have any more from anything else at that point. So, Anyway, I'm going to wrap up here in a minute, guys. I went longer than what I thought I was going to. If anybody's got any questions or anything like that, and I'll try not to use my finger on that to get that out of there. You can tell Jesse's the audio-visual portion of Hellbent Holler. Anybody got anything? Anything for us? May have to find a... The aftermath. I'm just looking to see here what we got. You may be able to find a big... You know what? Here's the deal, is that, again, I always go back to this, that I don't think people are saying that FEMA is saying that everybody impacted from the storm gets money. We're living in a bubble down here, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So they could be giving away anything, you know. I don't know. But anyway. Anybody got anything? Because I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. I wonder what the animals and cryptids think with no lights or power. I don't know. I think that... I always say that, Hawk, thank you, buddy. I watched a video from a sheriff in North Carolina. He said in all his years in law enforcement, he's never seen such destruction. This area has never experienced this sort of destruction. I've talked to people and I've had to go, you need to get into like disaster aftermath mindset right now, man. You know, this is something that you ain't, you know, that you've never dealt with before. You need to start conserving stuff. You need to start thinking constantly. Like I said, again, I was the reason why we didn't stream Monday. I looked at it and we both wanted to, but I had to go. If I exhaust some battery packs doing this, am I going to be able to replenish those? And if I can't replenish them, what am I going to need down the road here? So I had to worry about that. But like I said, tonight I felt a little bit more comfortable. I'm staying positive. I'm staying real positive on this. There are areas that have power. Excuse me. The air is terrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. There are, I know right now there's houses out there burning, even if I can't see them, because you can just smell it. I did go down one area on foot when I was out kind of trying to investigate up, and they were burning, I don't know what, in like metal bowls on their wooden porch with their wooden overhang. And I'm just going, and they've got dogs running around loose around them. And I'm just going, this house is going to catch on fire. That's all there is to it. It's going to burn down. And I think that's what's happening out there right now. I think there's structures probably on fire just from the people aspect of it. And the humidity's terrible and the air quality is just horrible. It's gross. It's just very gross. But a lot of EVs are catching fire. Yeah, stay locked and loaded. We are, I have unfortunately seen I got a moth in here flying around. I have been unfortunate enough to see some of the worst of humanity. And so I don't have any, while I'm positive about this, I also, I'm positive about the situation. I ain't positive about how my fellow man is going to act. So we're very aware of that too. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just be honest. I also have a exceptionally beautiful woman in the house with me as well. And that's something I got to stay aware of, you know. So, because people do get a little crazy. So, I swear, I am well aware of the gravity of the situation for it. But I'm positive things are getting better. I know people that have power. People that I work with, you know, have got power and everything's back to normal. And like I said, it's not the end of the world down here. It's just gonna, I think, recovery and relief. I don't think scale you're looking at anything bad. Thanks, Smog. Thank you for staying with us, man. The memberships are what keep this running. Your donations are what keeps the project running. I know we haven't got anything out for a bit. I know a lot of people were just kind of moved on, and that's fine. And that's understandable. I know a lot of people are just in it for the entertainment aspect, because they find this stuff entertaining and interesting. And when it's not there, and I understand that. We're going to get more stuff back out. But I don't see, right now, I'm not worried about mass chaos. I'm worried about those little individual pockets of chaos. I ain't worried about the level of looting that New Orleans saw. But I'm worried about individual home invasions and crime and stuff like that as this stretches out. So I'm not worried about, I don't think we're going to have to go all like Alamo here, and there's going to be like hordes trying to attack us to get our beanie weenies. But we do worry about, maybe some of the more unscrupulous people starting to get, somebody said feral people, starting to go feral. So that ain't too far off from the truth of it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. We are going to try to stay in touch with everybody as much as we can. Again, I can't say it enough. For those of you who were offering to come get us or come bring it, we're good. Don't put yourself in this situation. I am hoping that everybody out there is comfortable. And Lady Wolf, if the wolf needs to come stand guard, let me know. I sent you a message, Lady Wolf, and I don't know if it went through. I don't know if it went through or if all of it went through or what. But those of you who've reached out to us and all that, and I will give Jesse your love. But like I said, we're going to get through this. Everybody in the Southern Appalachian region, we're going to get through this. This is something that a lot of people have never experienced before, but we're going to get through it okay. And hopefully those areas that got hit real bad is, hopefully those people are, I'm just worried about with the news that's going to come as they start to get in these areas, man. I mean, the Southern Appalachian region, both of us are from here. We moved down to the coast. Home called to us the entire time. We moved back into the areas that we know and we love. And, I'm hoping everything's okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping everybody out there is going to be all right. And then maybe selfishly, we're rearing to get back to do what we do. So we'll keep you guys posted. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much. We will stay in touch with everybody as best we can. We will keep you guys updated. And I'm looking for things. I think things are going to start to, I'm hoping things are going to kind of get back to normal. So, if anybody needs to get in touch with us, I don't know the best avenue for it. Usually we have like our Discord, Facebook Messenger and all that. Data is so spotty. I am going to try to run the Starlink for a few minutes every day to just try to like stay more in touch with the outside world. But we'll kind of have to play that by ear. We'll see if the fuel situation stays the way it is and it's not so short in supply. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate all you guys. And I will keep you guys posted. And again, as soon as we get a little bit of power, a little bit of like stable internet, Jesse's gonna have some cool stuff coming out for everybody there. So, Hawk, thank you, buddy. Have a good night. Take care of your little lady. Yeah, like I said, it's comforting to. She takes care of me just as much as I take care of her. It's comforting to have her kind of here by my side and all that. So, but yeah, like I said, guys, we appreciate it. We love all you guys. I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody's family is safe. I hope this ends as well as it possibly can. So thank you all. Everybody have a good night.